Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to when animals are freed for the first time. And yeah, it's going to be a fun little reaction to see, I guess, these wild animals experiencing the worlds that they should be in. You know, not kept in cages and stuff. And I mean, yeah, we're going to just jump into this and see this video. I assume a lot of these are like animals that have been helped. Maybe they were like injured or something. They were like helped like surgically, and then they were re-released. But I guess also some are just animals that were just kept in captivity. Although, if an animal is kept in captivity for their whole life, they're going to be quite vulnerable in like the real world for them, no? Because they've lived their whole life being fed and stuff. I think that's the thing, but I don't actually know. I'm trying to sit in the middle of this camera as well. I keep sitting this way, so I need to stay in the middle. But yeah, links are in the description to my Patreon if you want to see some more reactions of mine. To see some more reactions, links are there. Or if you want to suggest me some videos to watch on the YouTube, or if I can't post it onto YouTube or on the Patreon, yeah, suggest it for the Patreon there. So yeah, let's jump into this video and see some of these moments.
Wild animals are simply not meant to live in captivity, so there are few things that can be as heartwarming as seeing animals finally being released back to their natural habitats. After this troop of spider monkeys who got an awful start in life by being born into illegal wildlife trade were rescued, they were finally given a second chance at life, and their reactions of seeing the wild for the first time is incredible to watch.
They're so confused, aren't they? Where they're like, this is all mine. This is all mine to walk in, to roam in.
A not-so-known fact is that cows feel joy and excitement like humans do. This cow that lived in confinement couldn't contain its excitement after being rescued and finally meeting some new friends.
Bro, that's running quick, man.
As of 2022, it's estimated that there's more than 550 Siberian tigers in the entire world. An incredibly special moment caught on camera are these three motherless cubs that were recaptured from poachers, being finally released to the wild for the first time in their lives.
Go on, lads and lasses. It's out there straight away, man. Sayonara.
After being rescued from captivity, these two beautiful leopard cats got to start a new life in the wild, and it's very heart-touching seeing their reactions to nature. After being experimented on for 30 years, these laboratory-raised chimpanzees.
Oh my god, so they've had the worst lives as well. It's not just being kept in captivity, they've been getting it, bro. They've had it the worst. They're now getting released into the real world. Oh my god, this must be crazy for them. I wonder if they actually fully understand like the situation when they're actually out there. They're just like, wow, this is my life now. I can climb these trees, I can do this, I can do that without people watching me or without people testing on me or whatever it is.
These finally were able to see the light. You can even see them smile and adjust their eyes to the sunshine.
What? I hope that backstory is actually true, because I feel like for some of these, maybe the story he's just making it up. I hope they're not. I hope they're actually all true, because this will make me so happy. Look how gassed they are, bro. You can see the human sort of element from them and how we sort of came from this, because they've got certain reactions that are so sort of similar to us.
Sadly, in many parts of the world, poultry farms are very inhumane, and hens live in extreme confinement, and some never get to go outside. Animal Place Group decided to rescue 3,000 hens that were going to be gassed by an egg farm, and they were able to see snow for the first time.
Do chickens like snow? What weather do chickens like more? Hot or cold? I don't really know. Probably don't care, do they?
Once this grizzly realized that he was not being relocated to another cage, but let free, he sprinted in happiness.
Look at the size of that, bro. Oh my god.
In perhaps one of the most adorable videos to see, this tiny penguin is released into the wild for the first time.
That is adorable, man. Oh, this was in the intro, wasn't it? This is adorable. Go on. Go on, King. Get in the water. Don't stay. Go. Oh, he can't even stand up. That's so cute, bro. I need a
When an
pet
illegal
penguin,
zoo
man.
was finally shut down by authorities,
I'm joking, but it would be cool. But it's one of those things that it's just that you can't do that, man. Can you? You can't keep those sorts of pets. It's just something that can't happen, man.
they found many lion cubs being held indoors in cages that have yet to even see sunlight. This is 2 of them leaving a cage for their first time.
Oh, look at them, man. That'll be ripping your face off in about a year's time, but right now it's still cute.
A pair of pandas bred in captivity were finally released in southwest China after a crackdown on illegal zoos. And well, the pandas never looked back.
But it's gone, man. It's gone ASAP.
People are clapping, people are cheering. You're cheering him or her right at the entrance. Well, there we go. So you can really see people cheering.
This is a group of rescued former research chimpanzees going outside for the first time. And even though they're a little confused, they seemed happy and even encouraged one of their friends that was hesitant to go outside as well.
Bro, it's so gassed, man. It's so cool to see these reactions from these animals.
In Europe alone, over 350,000 rabbits live and die in laboratories. These 8 made it out alive and got to experience freedom.
But I'm not gonna lie though, these sorts of rabbits are gonna get munched up in the real world because I mean I never see these sorts of rabbits. I only see, I don't know how to explain it, but the smaller ones. These are sort of like the pet rabbits that I see people have. But I never see these rabbits about. I always see the smaller ones. I don't know how to explain it, the species or whatever, but yeah, I feel like these would get munched up, but maybe they're not actually being left out. I don't think they would be, but maybe they are. Maybe they will live good there. I don't know.
After many months of
rabbits will be.
rehabilitation for these dolphins who lived their life in captivity in a badly managed zoo,
Well, these are some interesting looking dolphins, I'm not gonna lie.
they were finally ready for life in the wild, and they got to experience the ocean for the first time.
What are the red marks? Like track them, like the numbers or something.
Pangolins are the most illegally trafficked mammals in the world, and
What is this? Pangolins?
they are currently endangered because of it. In southwest China, a huge pangolin was rescued by the police and
Pangolin.
released into the wild.
What? Is it like a rat? Not a rat, a rodent. That is not a rodent. What? Bro, if I saw this, I would shit myself. It looks like it's been like graphically made. It doesn't look real.
Okay, not sure how someone could possibly do this, but this ridiculously adorable
Aww.
lambs were living in cages until luckily a rescue team got a report from one of the neighbors and came to the rescue. This is footage of them running around a big farm for the first time after being rescued.
Look at them.
This poor orangutan
They're
had been
gonna
held
taste so good. I'm joking. I don't even like that. Why did I say that's gonna piss people off, man? They're cute though.
illegally at a quarantine center in Jakarta for 6 years. But soon after the center got shut down, rescuers made their way to the place and found him in it.
What?
But soon after, the poor orangutan had been held illegally at a quarantine center in Jakarta for 6 years. But soon after the
6
center got
years.
shut down,
This
rescuers
big-ass
made their way
monkey.
to the place and found him in a tiny cage. And well, when one of the rescuers went to open the cage, he tried to bite him. Luckily, it calmed down, and he was sent to an orangutan sanctuary where he learned how to live in the wild.
Okay for the journey to Borneo.
Yeah, you don't want that biting you, man. That's taking your arm off.
Grizzly bears are incredibly aggressive animals since thousands and thousands of years ago. When they arrived in North America, unlike black bears that remained in forests, grizzlies adapted to more open areas left treeless by glaciers. This is a release of 2 grizzly bears in Montana that had to be relocated after spending weeks in confinement. And well, they reacted very differently.
We're so confused. They're trying to beef the trailer.
When an elephant got stolen from the wild and got imported to a zoo that didn't have the space to keep her properly, she was forced to live in a concrete pit for 20 years. Luck that didn't have the space.
What?
When an elephant got stolen from the wild and got imported to a zoo that didn't have the space to keep her properly, she was forced to
Oh
live.
my days, that is ridiculous. That is actually insane, man. Look at the space it has got for this big ass elephant, and it's kept in this. It's 20 years of its life. That is ridiculous.
Live in a
man.
concrete pit for 20 years. Luckily, this year the Elephant Sanctuary Brazil got notice about the situation and went to the rescue. and now she's thrilled to be playing with mud for the first time, while she's socialized and prepared for the wild.
Bro, that's wild.
Wonderful.
Imagine how you can see that. You can see the smile in the animal's face, man, or the elephant's face.
These happy leopards can
Bro, do elephants live in would they live in the rainforest? Probably not. Would they? Would they survive? I mean, they would survive, but would that be good conditions for the elephant? I feel like they're like drier sort of conditions, but I don't actually know. Maybe I'm wrong. Plus, it's Amazon. There's probably so many different sort of areas. There's probably just like so many different terrains that it would love. So yeah, it probably is living its best life now for sure. But
finally be free again after being nurtured back to health for over a year. "1,500 hens from wire metal cages were rescued from an egg farm in Southern California, and for their first time ever were able to fly.
see, I find it crazier. Like these animals can sort of do things for the first time. They've been kept in cages their whole life. Yeah, they've never flown before, but they can just naturally fly. Humans can't naturally walk. If you've not walked for 10 years of your life, and suddenly you're given the chance to, well, not 10 years, a year, and you're, I don't know, I don't know what age, but you've not walked for a certain amount of time and you've never done it before, and suddenly you're given the opportunity to walk. We're not going to be able to do that. So it's interesting how these animals can do certain things so like instantly. It's like an instinct for them. But yeah, like say you're born, say when you're first born, this is gonna sound crazy, but just for the analogy, you're born and you're instantly put in a cage, and then until you're 10 years of age, you're not allowed to walk. You can't walk. You're stuck in the same position pretty much. And then you're now allowed to do anything. You're not going to be able to walk for a long time. And I don't know if how long it would take you to learn either, because you learn the most when you're like younger, even though you're still young at that point.
These two adorable calves got to run free for the first time. Many polar bears living in subarctic Canada migrate north every winter towards the sea ice. The problem is there's a small town called Churchill on the way, causing a safety hazard for the people living there, since polar bears haven't learned to fear humans, so they aren't scared to venture into the town. This polar bear thankfully was safely captured and tranquilized in order to be able to airlift him and taking him to his destination without anyone getting injured.
Warlock must work fast.
Oh my god, bro. So it's obviously still like coming to reality. It's been tranquilized and stuff, but that's crazy. It's just holding it and its eyes are open and everything. It's just still in the daze and he just chokes it on its head like that. Oh mate, you want to get out of there ASAP.
Warlock must work fast.
Once he starts moving his head and his...
These 9 elephants had the bad luck of being separated from their mothers once they were born, to be sent to circuses and illegal zoos. But luckily they were rescued by Sri Lanka's Wildlife Conservation Department, and were nurtured and prepared for their release, to have a strong chance of survival. This is the footage of them being finally free.
Good on them, man. Look at the happiness, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they've got a beautiful spot to come home to, for sure.
A confused alligator needed a little push to go back into the wild after years of living in captivity. An absolutely heartbreaking story to learn about is one from a monkey named Joe that spent 25 years in solitary confinement between 2 buildings in a slum in Thailand. But once the Wildlife Friends Foundation found out about the macaque's condition, they sent a rescue team to see his condition. And despite Joe being dehydrated and having a lot of health problems, they were able to nurture him back to life, and is living in sanctuary free from ever being in a cage again.
Come on, man. That's so good to see, bro. Stuck in that for 25 years is a disgrace, man. These things should be climbing around, doing all this kind of stuff and everything.
A hippo whose whole life was being moved around from zoo to zoo was finally given a break when a rescue group took him in, and after months of training he was finally released to the wild for the first time in his life. These gelatas, also known as bleeding heart monkey, were caught by people when they were cubs, and have been kept captive almost their entire lives. Luckily, they were rescued and released back to the wild. A 300-pound loggerhead sea turtle was stuck between two rocks and survived there for months. She was in rough conditions when found.
How do you know this has been there for months? Are you sure about that? If that's true, that's crazy, but I don't know where he's getting this information from. Like, how is it going to survive there for months? Unless people are feeding it and stuff, but...
So had to be taken to a care center before returning back home. But after 9 months of rehabilitation and care, they managed to bring her back to health and get to be back in the ocean.
God, that must be such a good feeling for for an animal to be stuck away from its home for so long and then it goes back. It's just, yeah, it's interesting. But hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. And I mean, yeah, animals being freed for the first time. It's good to see this sort of stuff on YouTube. But yeah, if you want more of these types of reactions, let me know in the comments and I'll try and do some. But until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.